what's up YouTube? In this video I'll be showing you how to make the interior and exterior for my school, which is the building that we're looking at right now on the screen. For this video to actually work, it's probably a good idea that you guys have already made this, and this is where we left off in the video tutorial for this school. If you haven't already made the school and you'd like to, I'm going to be leaving a link down below in the description and in the card system, just in case you want to make it, so you can come back and use this video at a later date once you actually have the building. You can apply the interior and exterior to a different building if you'd like, but the inside and outsides that I'm about to show you how to make are specifically designed for this, so results may vary otherwise. But once you have this right here, which is exactly where we left off in the actual school tutorial, this is what we're going to do. So we're going to focus on the inside of the school first of all, and then we're going to move outside. So this is exactly what you guys should have. Nothing is different. This is where we left off. The first thing that we're going to have to do is apply the floors, and we're going to have to apply the hallways. We're basically going to make the structure of the school. So first of all, we're going to have to give this thing a floor. The first floor is going to be made out of andesite, and it's just going to cover the entire ground floor. So we're going to have to apply a layer of andesite, as you can see, to this entire area. It's going to take a while. The second floor for the school is designed to sit one block below the second floor windows. So you can see where we have the second floor windows here. We want to have one block below the window here, and then the floor is just below it. Or equally so, the floor sits just above the ground floor windows. So the second floor to the school is going to be positioned here, and it is once again going to be made completely out of andesite block. What we're also going to have to do is space out where the hallways are going to go. This school has a few hallways. Let me explain. So the first hallway for the school, and remember that we're going to have the second floor in this as well, so it's not going to look exactly like this once it's finished. There's going to be one hallway on the ground floor that runs all the way from the front of the school to the back of the school, and it's going to be positioned here. So it's positioned where the second floor is going to be, which is just above this window, so this block right here, and it takes this very front corner and it connects the front of the school to the back of the school. We also want to do the same thing on the other side. You can see we've already made a start, so we want to take this block and we want to extend it going all the way back towards where the back of the school is going to be, and then we can light it up once we've kind of got the framework for this. So we have the one long hallway from the front of the school to the back of the school. Then we have two more hallways. We have one on the left hand side. So the left hand side, it's like where we have these middle 7 blocks, like a whole segment of this is like 7. So you want to take, just above the window, you want to take these blocks here for like where the fire exit is, and you want to take like this little panel, and you just kind of want to separate. If you guys can see what I'm talking about, it's kind of difficult to put a lot of this into words, but hopefully you can see how this is kind of getting divided up, and that's where one hallway is going to be. So if you can imagine, you're walking in, this is one big hall from the front to the back, and then we'll also be able to go left here, and I can just extend these down so I can just kind of like represent it a little better. It's a little bit dark, it's kind of difficult to see in here. We're going to light this up in just a moment once we actually have the framework taken care of. So we're also going to have a hallway this way, and we're also going to have one on the opposite side. So if you kind of want to make like a little cross section, so we can kind of just make, it's essentially going to look like a big giant plus shape, just kind of like mark out where it's going to be, we're just going to have something which should look, hang on, it takes a little while to do because this is actually quite big, but you can see how it's going to end up. You can see how it's being separated. It's basically a big giant plus shape, and each one of these like 4 rooms that we have now, like down on the bottom floor, which is that one, that one, that one, and that one, those are all going to be classrooms or something of the like. So you can see how we've separated this into even sections, and then we can take these blocks that kind of like connect to each other, we can take these and we can drag them down to the ground. And we should drag them down to the ground because it's going to be important that we know where these are going to be later. So you can now see that looking down, we have like a nice big giant plus shape. Plus, we also want to have the same markings on the second floor. So for the second floor, we're also going to want to have the hallways marked out. Because it's the exact same pattern like on the second floor as the first floor. It's like the same sort of layout, and it just wants to look a little bit like this. You can see that's how the second floor is going to go. Plus, the third floor, because you can get on the roof of this place, it's going to sit in line with the roof. So you can see where we have the andesite for the roof. We also have to install another layer of andesite. So we've not only got the ground floor to fill in here, we've not only got the second floor to fill in, but we also have what is essentially the third floor, which is basically just a hallway. We also have that to fill in. Hopefully you guys can see how we've arrived at that, but that's how it's going to look. But before we do fill these in, we're going to take out our torches and we're going to light this place up a bit because it's only going to make things easier. I'm already sick of being in the dark. So you can basically light up all of the windows. How I did it, the way that I've lit this place up is, as you imagine that all of the classrooms have windows and they're split into 4 even sections. I've placed torches in each one of the 4 corners of the windows. So that lights up the classroom quite nicely, but once we get to each individual classroom, we're probably going to want to light them up even more. Plus, the hallways are pretty dark, so we're going to also have to light those up. But it's probably going to be a good idea that we have the walls and stuff filled in first, because we're going to want to place torches all over the place. So these are the things that I want you guys to do, and these are the things that I'm going to also have to do whilst I'm gone, because I'm not going to do this on recording because it's going to take a really long time, but I am doing the same thing as you guys. So you can see now where each one of the floors go. We have the ground floor to fill in, the second floor, and we have the third floor to fill in. You can see that we're probably going to want to start off by placing torches around each one of the windows, all 4 corners of the windows. We're also going to have to do that to some of the pillars and stuff, so like some of these we're also going to have to do it, but it's probably a good idea to have the floors in and stuff, see how dark it's going to be before we do that. So I'm going to be back in just a moment, guys, once I've added in all of the floors and once I've added in all of the torches around the windows, and then we can talk about what's going to happen next. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have finished filling in each one of the 3 floors. You might not even see this third one as it has blended into the roof, and I have also finished lighting up each one of the windows. That takes quite a while. If you guys haven't already figured it out, it takes a really long time to do that. It'll probably run you about 20 minutes. It really does take quite some time. But once you yourself have reached this point right here, you've majoritively filled in each one of the 3 floors. I have left a little open space just so that we can travel through the floors quite easily. Once you've filled in each one of the 3 floors and lit up the windows, this is what we want to do next. So now we're actually going to add in the walls to the hallways. So the way that this is going to work, and it's going to work for the second floor as it will the first floor, it's going to work in the exact same way. We now basically want to, you know how we marked everything out into a big giant plus shape? Well, now we just want to basically like give that plus shape a 3D shape. So we're basically now just tracing along the floor, and I'm just going to do it with the left hand side, or I guess this is the right hand side technically, the right hand side of the school first. You can see where I'm tracing along the floor with my brick, like this. This is where the walls are going to go. So this is going to be the hallway that we can walk through, as will this middle section, but on the left-hand side, and you can see the right-hand side as well, we're going to be building up the walls with bricks. Not only are we doing this on the ground floor, but, as you guys may have assumed, we'll also be doing this on the second floor, and I believe that I've already mentioned it. The second floor, it has the exact same floor plan as the ground floor, except, of course, it's on the second floor. So you can see how this is going to get built up. We're going to be building up all of the walls all the way to the top like this. It's also going to get very dark, and we're also going to have some stairs here as well. Shall we build the stairs whilst we're still at this point? We probably should. So the stairs are relatively simple. Let me bring up my plans just so I can see. Okay, so to build the stairs, I'd made them out of the polished andesite and out of stone brick stairs. They're the only two materials that I've used, and I centered them a little bit backwards. So the stairs sit right at the back center of the school, and they sit like 3 rows in towards the back. So I'm just filling in 3 rows of the back floor here, and the stairs are going to be kind of like here. They're going to be 1 row into the hallway on the left and right hand side, and now we're just going to kind of like connect these stairs down to the ground. Of course, you can place them further or back, or further closer towards you, or further back, depending upon where you want your personal stairs. Like, would you prefer that the stairs are in line here, like with the hallways? I wanted them sat back a little bit, so you can kind of like shuffle them around if you like, but I wouldn't change the actual location of the stairs. I would keep them very near the back of the school, so I really wouldn't change the location of them, but you can change, you know, a couple of things, like if you wanted to like bring them close together, if you wanted to bring them further apart, whatever you want to do. But this is how I've kind of like set the stairs out. It's just a single strip of stone brick stairs on the left and right hand side, and it's just andesite on left and right of those stairs. So we have 2 sets, is what I'm saying. I realized that might have been a pretty confusing thing to say. It's like stairs on the left and right, and then andesite on the left and right as well. I mean, we have 2 sets of stairs. One's on the left hand side, one's on the right hand side, and then either side of those we have our polished andesite, and it will look a little something like... Oh, hang on, we've just got this to add in here, place that in the wrong place. So we just want to have something which should look a little bit like this, and that's where we have the stairs. I figured it's probably easiest to add these in now, and you can see this. This is where it's going to go. This is how we're going to travel from the first floor all the way up to the second floor. And then we can add the second floor to the third floor stairs in later. But on the second floor as well, we're also going to want to do the same thing that we did on the first floor. We're going to want to mark out where the walls are going to go, and it's in the same pattern. It's the big giant plus shape that we placed earlier. It just traces along the top of or upside down of the plus shape that we made. I'm sure that you guys can see what we're doing. It basically, the 4 columns that we have right in the center here, it just connects those all together, and it still leaves enough room to walk around. It separates the hallways. Can you have the school in a different configuration? Yeah, probably. You probably can, but I wouldn't, because this is a really, really easy way to do it, and it makes it so easy to walk around the school that nothing's in the way. Everything's planned out this way, so I really wouldn't mess with it. Everything flows quite nicely with this school, surprisingly, and very few of my builds do, but this has been built 100% for the purpose. Like, this interior and exterior has been built 100% to actually work as a proper school. If you wanted to roleplay or whatever you wanted to do, it actually works, it makes sense, and I really wouldn't tamper with it too much. But you can see that those are where all of the walls are going to go. We're also going to have to light up this place like crazy. There's going to be a lot of light added to the pillars that we have in the center. There's going to be a lot of light added to the brick walls that we have as well. I'm just lighting it up a little bit because I hate the dark in Minecraft. It drives me mental. I wish we could see everything quite clearly. And right there, towards the back there, and I should mention this, we also, stupid that I placed torches there, we're also going to be filling in this little back section. We're going to be giving this a wall. So you can see where we have like the front of the building. This is the front of the building. The clock is on the other side of this wall. We also want to wall this off. Why do we want to wall this off, guys? It's because the head teacher, the principal's office, whatever you want to call them, the head honcho's office is actually right there behind the clock. And that's the way that I've designed this. So it's on the second floor. It's like the first thing that you see when you get on the second floor. It's actually right here, and it's going to look a little something like this. We just want a regular like archway door here, right in the center. And I think that we're also going to place a little bit of white stained glass just above it, like this, and we'll also give it a proper door later on as well. But that's where the head teacher's going to be. That's what we call them in England, or principal, whatever you want to call them. What we have to do now is, now that we have the stairs, now that we know where all of the walls are going to go, where the principal is going to be, we're now going to raise up all the walls, and I'm also going to light it up as well. Lighting's going to be individual though. You guys will probably figure out how much of it you want and how much of it you know, is good for you. Maybe you want a little less lighting, maybe you want more, but I'm going to add loads and loads of torches everywhere, and we'll just have to add some as we go. But I'm going to build up all the walls now, I'm going to add some more torches, and I'll be back once I've done both of those things, guys, so back in a moment. This is also going to take a while. Alright guys, so as you may be able to tell, I have lit this place up a lot better, and I have added in all of the necessary walls. Remember, we have the principal / head teacher's wall here, and then we just have all of the others which we had marked out previously anyway. Once you yourself have taken on the arduous task of filling in all of the walls, we've almost completed the hard, difficult, long bit of the interior. So once you yourself have reached this point right here, and that'll probably take you about another 20 minutes, it does take a long time. Once you've got that taken care of, we now want to do a couple of things. So not only are we going to add lockers to the inside of the school, but we're also going to add in the staircase up to the 3rd floor, and then we get to work on the individual rooms. So the lockers are located just left and right of the actual front entrance to the school, and to make them, they're actually quite simple. We're going to want to grab some cyan stained clay, we will want polished andesite, which I already have out, we'll also want, I'm looking for it guys, we want some regular stone slabs, and we want some buttons. Now, the lockers I have designed, and take out your polished andesite first. On the left and right hand side, there is a gap of 4 from the entrance to where the lockers are, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, a gap of 4, and then there is a row of 13 polished andesite on the ground going towards the end of the school, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so it stops just at the end of the hall. And then we want to do this pattern, so starting from the right hand side or the left hand side, we want to have this pattern. We want to have one andesite, miss one, one andesite, miss one, one andesite, miss one, so on and so forth until we reach the end. Add another layer of andesite on top of that andesite. Then do cyan stained clay in the spaces left by the andesite. Then add a layer of stone slabs on top of those. Then add buttons to the top cyan stained clays. There we have the lockers. You might also want to add some additional light to the lockers. You might want to add some on the ends, you might want to add some on the bottom, wherever you might want to add it, you might want to add some in the middle. That's completely up to you. I'm just adding loads and loads of light so you guys can see as well as possible, but I wouldn't add this much to my actual school. Do some lockers on the left, do some lockers on the right. So the lockers, as you might remember, polished andesite, we have a row of 4 empty space, so 1, 2, 3, 4, a gap of 4, then 13 andesite, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then we want to do the place one andesite, miss one, coming all the way across that row of 13, starting from either side. We then want to add an extra layer of andesite on top of that andesite, then do cyan stained clay in the empty spaces here, then a layer of slab directly on top of that row, and then add buttons to the very tops of those cyan stained clays popping out, and we'll end up with something that should look exactly like this. There we have lockers on the left, lockers on the right, and again, you might want to light them up, you might not want to, completely up to you. Again, I'm just lighting it up so everybody can see everything perfectly, but I don't want this many torches around my school. Once you've got the lockers taken care of, we're now going to make our way up to the 2nd floor, and we do have to fill in the 2nd floor a little bit here. I left this open originally, just because I wanted you guys to be able to see like all of the floors at once, but we can now close this up a little bit, and we can just leave enough room so that you can actually travel between the ground floor and the 1st floor. I think that 3 blocks is enough. Is that enough? Yeah, there we go. So that's more than enough room to travel up, and then we're just going to fill this in a little bit, and then we're going to add the 2nd floor staircase taking us to the 3rd floor. So you Yeah, that's enough there. And the staircase is going to be centered here. So once you've filled in that little gap, if you haven't already, another staircase is going to be centered right here. So it's in line with like the end of this hall, looking towards where the principal is going to be. And it's going to be the exact same design as the other staircases. So it's just going to be the tapered up staircase. It's going to be the single stone brick stair in the center. And then it's going to be polished andesite behind and to the left and right of each one of those stairs. So you can see we're just adding in destroy that. We're just adding in stairs coming here. So now we can actually walk up, and now we're just going to add the andesite left and right of those stone brick stairs just to make it look a little bit prettier. And that is how we're going to get up onto the roof and all of that, because we do have 2 doors that take us out onto the roof, and you might want to add a little bit of light to that. And everything really is about light with this. I wish that there was some way to light this place up better without having to place a bajillion T-torches, but you know, I don't know of one. So we can now get up onto the second floor here. We can already walk in and out. I'm going to be placing torches around here, and we can also arbitrarily throw some around the halls if we want to. And I would also suggest lighting up the around the glass, because you'll be able to note that from the outside now that that's lit up a little bit. And maybe a few torches around here just to light things up furthermore. And what you might also want to do, and I'm going to be using white stained glass pane for this, you might want to go around the staircases with the white stained glass pane, and this might make them look a little bit prettier, and it'll obviously reduce the chance that you're going to fall down the stairs, which is always a good thing. We don't need anybody suing anybody, especially in a school, so you might want to make them a little bit prettier. And that takes care of like the hallways, what you might have in there. That takes care of all of the floors. Now we get to focus on some of the actual rooms, guys, some of the actual classrooms. So every single one of the classrooms, the doors are this design, and they are roughly in this position. They are always closest to like the center of the school. So you can imagine, like, this is where the door to this classroom is. This is the front left hand side of the building here. This is this classroom. The door is positioned right there. This, just opposite it, this is actually going to be like a little mini assembly hall. Back when I went to school, we had a we kind of used the gym actually, but like at primary school we had like a little assembly hall, which is going to be this. So you can see, oh god, zip through there. So you can see that the door is closest to like the central location here. Right here, we're also going to add an additional door like in this hallway, and once again, this is going to be closest. And we're not going to add 2 doors, we're just going to keep the 1 door. This is actually where the cafeteria is going to be, so we're going to make this door a little bit wider, but you guys can figure out where you want to place these rooms. You can place them wherever you want, but the cafeteria is going to be here. It's going to be a little bit wider, and for the cafeteria, I did actually say that all of the doors are the same, but for the cafeteria, and this just happens for the cafeteria, the doors are wider, plus I actually placed 2 of them, like 1 at each end, because it didn't seem logical to just have like 1 door that everybody would be stuffing themselves in and out of. So that's where I placed my cafeteria. But for this room, which is actually kind of like a more science labby room, it's kind of got that feel to it. I only designed like 4 or so different rooms. The science lab, you can see that the door is also placed in the same position. But there we go, guys. Now we have kind of like placements for all of the rooms on the ground floor, and it's very similar for the second floor as well. Once you've got all of that figured out, this is what you want to do next. So you don't have to follow this floor plan if you don't want to, and you can add more of one particular kind of classroom if you like, or you could add less, or you could make your own. But this is the first classroom that I made, so I'm just going to get rid of all of my materials, and the first kind of classroom I'm making is just kind of like a generic standard classroom. And to make this, I'm going to need some oak wood planks, some dark oak planks. I'm also going to need these stairs, so oak wood stairs and dark oak wood stairs. I'm also going to need, and I'm just looking here at what I need, guys, as I talk. I'm also going to need some block of iron. I'll also want to grab some black wool, and I'll also need some I'll need some bookshelves, And what else do I need? We'll deal with it right now. So we have pretty much most of the materials here. So once you have all of these, this is what you want to do. The desks for this room, and there's 3 of them, they are in line with the windows. So we're going to take out our dark oak wood stairs, and the chairs are 1 block away from the center of the window. So we have 1, 2, and 3, just like that. So starting from that left-hand side there, we have 1, 2, 3 chairs. And the way that I made the desks is this. I made it like this. So the desks are 1 block away from the chairs, and they are actually 3 blocks wide, and they are like 2 blocks thick. So basically the desks look a little bit like this, and you have to place blocks so you can place a desk. So we have this here. I mean, I'm explaining this a little bit poorly, aren't I, guys? But you can see that we have a row of 3 upside-down oak wood stairs here, 1 row away from the actual chair, and then we have another row opposite facing that. So it kind of looks like we have a desk. And if you wanted to take that 1 step further, you could take out your oak wood slabs, knock out these middle 2 here, and you could do oak wood slabs like right in the center, so you have some proper-looking desks. Up to you. You have to do this a couple of times. You have to do this for the other 2 as well. So we've just got to repeat this. The desks are actually a little bit irritating to make, but you'll get the hang of how to make them once you've done them a couple of times. Whoops, we placed those in the wrong way, so we now want the opposite facing, upside down, perfect. So now we want the opposite facing oak wood stairs, and then if you're so bothered, I wasn't in my original school, I wasn't too bothered, you might want to replace the middle 2 with oak wood slabs, whoops, and that'll give you a much better desk shape than just having like the whole like whole row of stairs. So you might want to have that, and you can make yourself some nice little desks. And something that you might also want to do, I added this, but I doubt that you have these things anymore. So I added flower pots onto the corners of the desk, kind of as like a pencil pot, sort of like pen pot sort of thing. I thought that it made things a little bit more interesting with that. Also, what do we have here? So after you've taken care of the desks, I also have on the left-hand side, as you walk in, we have a row of dark oak wood planks going from the front of the room to the back of the room, right at the bottom. Then we leave a gap of 2, and then we do 2 layers of bookshelves. So 1 and 2, and it just made sense to add something a little bit like that, a little bit of a little book section. It's a classroom after all. What else do we have? So we have a blackboard, although I bet these are a little bit out of date, but it was a bit more recognizable to me than a whiteboard, plus it added an additional color. So a blackboard. It is 1 row off of the ground, and it is like starting from where the entrance is here, you want to leave a gap of 2. So 1, 2, and then you want to do a row of 10 black coming over to the left hand side of the room. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. And then you just want to basically like fill the wall with it. So on top of that, you just want to add additional layers of black until you have a full wall of black walls. So you want to have something which should look a little bit like this. And what I also did actually, like, I knocked out the bottom layer of black except for the blocks on each end like this. And I then filled in the bottom of that with glowstone, like so. And then I did a layer of upside down dark oak wood stairs right at the bottom, because like on those old fashioned blackboards and stuff, like you used to have a place where you could place markers and stuff, and that just added a little bit more light to the room. We also have the teacher's desk, and the teacher's desk is situated, it's starting from the like back left hand corner of the room. We want to leave a gap of 1, and then we want to place a dark oak wood plank, then a dark oak wood stair, then a dark oak wood plank, and that's kind of like where the chair is there. And what we then want to do is, we're not leaving a we are leaving a space. Hang on, okay, scratch that. Leave a gap of 2, and then place an oak wood plank, a dark oak wood stair, an oak wood plank. Then in front of this is going to be a desk, and the desk is actually, it's built very, very similarly to the like student desks, except it is 5 blocks wide. It looks a little bit like this, so it's 5 blocks wide, and it's a little bit thicker than the student desk, so we actually have a layer of dark oak wood slabs, and then we have like the additional layer of upside down stairs, and it looks a little bit like this. So that's kind of like the teacher's desk, like that. And also in the corner here, the front left-hand corner, or however you're describing it, like this is the front left-hand corner of the school. Here we have kind of like in the very corner we have a iron block, and then coming out of that we have like a dark oak wood plank, and then furthermore we have another block of iron, and then we have. Actually, it's the other way around. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting a little bit of this wrong. We have a dark oak wood plank in the center, and then we have iron, then oak wood planks, then iron again. And then we can probably get rid of most of what we have. Grab some trapdoors and place trapdoors in front of the wooden blocks and take out, once again, plant pots, and then your flower of choice. Mine's poppies because I like them. And I'm going to place poppies on top of the wooden portions again. So now we kind of have like, that's where you'd grab, I don't know, that's where you grab whatever pencils, books, you'd grab stuff out of there, and that'll leave you with a pretty nice looking classroom. And if you want, you can also light this up a little bit. So this is like classroom idea number 1. This is what I'm going to put mainly around the school. I'm going to be doing this in total 4 more times, but I'm also going to show you a different type of classroom. So this is kind of like your generic classroom. Alter this if you like, add stuff, take things away, up to you. But if you can't think of anything else, I think that this is quite a nice, neat little classroom. Moving on. So let me show you how to make my other classroom. I only have 2 kinds of classrooms. I have that one, and then I have a more sciencey based classroom, which I think is actually quite interesting. So for the sciencey classroom, we need a few different materials. We want to grab a block of iron. We want to grab, I believe we'll need some block of quartz. Then we'll also need some dark oak wood some dark oak wood stairs. I was going to say we need upside down dark oak wood stairs. We want to grab ourselves some quartz slabs. We will also need some polished andesite. We'll need some tripwire hooks, and we'll need some brewing stands. And what else? We probably need way more than we can actually carry. And also grab some dark oak wood slabs, because we'll start with the teacher's desk. So once you have all of those things, the teacher's desk I have situated in this like very back corner of the classroom, back right hand corner of the classroom, and this is basically it's set out the same way as the other teacher's desk. So it's like 2 blocks away from the wall here, and we do actually, I'm going to get rid of those torches for a sec. It's the same sort of chair, and we have oak wood planks here left and right of the chair, so the chair's there, and then it's the same sort of setup with the desk. So we now just want like the 5-row desk in front of it, and that's why we have the dark oak wood slabs. So we have like the 5-row desk in front of it with the dark oak wood slabs like that, and then we just want to have like the alternate upside down dark oak wood stairs here, and we just want to have something which should look a little bit like that. But we've already done that one time before anyway. And then we can also have we need the blackboard. Damn it. Okay, so we'll do like the little workstations first. So come all the way over to this opposite wall here. So you're on that side, you now want to be on this side. Underneath this wall, we're going to want to add a layer of block of iron connecting the front of the classroom to the back of the classroom. And then we want to have a row of tripwire hooks that are 1 row higher than the iron. So we want to leave a gap 1 row higher than the iron, and they want to be every other block of iron. So it kind of wants to look a little something like this. And then above that, we want to add a layer of a block of quartz, just going from left to right across the room above the tripwire hooks. And then we can probably for a little while get rid of oak wood planks, and we can get rid of, what don't we need? Oh, we need most of this stuff, and the dark oak wood slabs. And grab some blue carpet, and also grab some buttons again. The buttons are just going to be all the way across the quartz, and the blue carpet is going to be underneath each one of the tripwire hooks, and that's just to like simulate some like cupboards and stuff where you would grab some, I don't know, like beakers and stuff from, like that's what these are. And you might also want to put buttons like in front of every other iron block on the ground like this, and those are obviously like little washing stations. And what we can also do is little workstations. So the workstations that I have here, we're going to grab some block of quartz, and starting from like this very, like as soon as you walk in this back corner of the classroom, we want to take this block that we see here, and we want to kind of like move up diagonally, like by 3, so that'll be like 1, 2, 3. We want to place a block of iron there, and then we want to do like 2, 2, 2 connected together. So we kind of want to have a like circle of iron like this, and I've used quartz, haven't I? I meant to use iron, so we want to have like a circle of block of iron in this position. And I'm going to get rid of the blue carpet, and I'm going to actually grab some blue wool, and I'm going to place a brewing stand on each one of the 4 corners of this thing. I'm going to place a polished andesite on the back of the desk here, and then a tripwire hook moving towards the center. I'm then going to take dark oak wood stairs, and I'm going to place dark oak wood stairs 1 block away from each one of the 3 center points of this desk, so these parts here. And I'm not going to have one facing this way because I don't want to obstruct the room too much. And this is kind of like a little workstation. And we also want to have a similar workstation just not too very far away. We actually want to have it like 2 rows away, so it's going to be like, take this stair, leave a gap of 2, do a stair going the opposite way, and then do another little workstation here. So we want to take a ring of block of iron, then we want to add these stairs going all the way around it, but not in front of it, then a dark blue wool in the center here, then an andesite on the back, tripwire hook, brewing stands on all 4 corners, and we just want to have something which should look like this. Now, we then want to take the... No, here's what we want to do. Just get rid of everything. Grab yourself some black wool, some dark oak wood stairs. Also grab some quartz slabs. You'll need some item frames as well, and then grab a few potions. Like I'm going to grab some bottle of enchanting and the water bottle and some potion of regeneration. We're now making the blackboard. So the blackboard is just 1 block away from the teacher's desk, and it is obviously 1 block high off of the ground. So we're leaving a gap of 1, and we're doing a row of 7 black wool coming across the wall. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're then adding layers of black on top of that row of that initial row of 7 until we hit the ceiling. We're then going to destroy the middle part of the bottom layer of the whiteboard, and we're going to place glowstone in the center of it, just so that this lights up a little bit better, like this. Then we take the upside down dark oak wood stairs and we do a layer here, then we have a blackboard. There's also going to be a shelf with chemicals, kind of like in the middle of in between like the door and the blackboard. And to do this, we just have like a shelf of item frame, which is like 2 rows off the floor, a shelf of quartz slabs 2 rows off the floor. Then we have item frames just all the way above it like this, and now I'm just gonna like place bottle of enchantings and like potions of regeneration and whatever inside of those item frames. And something that you might also want to do, take out the torches and just kind of like light the place up a little bit. And this is kind of like a more sciencey classroom. That's what this is meant to be. Do you have any better ideas for this? You probably do. Add them. Change them. Do whatever you want with this room. Completely up to you. But if you kind of wanted a bit more sciencey, something a little bit different from your regular classroom, you might want to add one of these to your school. So this is kind of like classroom concept number 2. Let's add in the next room. So the next room is, I'm coming back to the first one where we have like this kind of standard classroom. It's opposite this, and now we're going to build kind of like an assembly hall, or maybe it's a bit more of a music room, or so. It's more of an assembly hall really. And to make this, we're going to need some stone bricks, we'll need some block of quartz, we'll also need some stone brick stairs and some quartz stairs, and we're also going to grab some red carpet. We might also need some other things later on. So on the very back wall of this room, and I'm destroying the torches because of what's going here, on the very back wall of this room we're going to have a nice big giant, it looks like a whiteboard, but it's kind of like a projection board, and it's going to take up most of the wall. So we're going to do a row of stone bricks that consumes most of the wall. You can make it bigger, you can make it a little bit smaller, but it's one row off the ground, one row shy of the walls, and it comes all the way up to the ceiling. We're then filling the center of this in with block of quartz, like that. We're then in line with the center block of the board here. We're going to leave a gap of 1, and we're going to place a stone brick. So, center of the board, gap of 1, stone brick. Place a stone brick stairs left and right of that. Then place 2 block of quartz coming up in front of that center block there, and then a quartz stairs on top. And this is kind of like a lectern where you would talk to people from. You might even want to make that a little bit smaller so you can actually see over it, completely up to you. But actually, the lectern, it would make more sense if the lectern was made out of wood, to be honest with you. So maybe we'll keep the quartz stand, and then maybe like an oakwood stair here. Just so that makes a little bit more sense. Then we have to figure out where people are going to be sat. So 2 rows away from the little lectern that we have, we want some evenly spaced seats. We just want 4 of them. So that's 2 rows away, and we want 1 here, here, and here. So yeah, 3 seats. And then we're going to leave a row of 2, and then here, here, and here. Row of 2, here, here, and here. Row of 2 here, here, and here. Do we want to add an extra row? We'll add in an extra row here, here, and here. Are those evenly spaced? Those aren't evenly spaced. Whoops. I thought that looked a little bit weird, but here, here, and then there, and there. Knock out those. And perfect. Now we have our C's. I'm also going to add some more light before I add this next bit. So just going to add some torches behind the door here. Also going to add some on this wall just to spruce things up a little bit. Obviously this won't look very good with the torches, but it will light this place up. And then we're going to take out the red carpet. I'm going to kind of like trace along the outside of the rectangular shape that we have with these quartz stairs. And I'm going to have a nice, big, giant, rectangular-shaped red carpet that goes all the way around the around the quartz stairs like this. And I'm also going to fill in the center of it. So we just have a bit of a carpet. It adds a little bit of color to the room. It makes it look a little bit more interesting. And there's probably not much more to add to this room. I haven't added anything myself, but I thought that it might be nice if we had kind of like a nice little bit of an assembly area, because we don't really have a gym or anything on the school yet, at least. So I thought it might be a good idea if we had something a little bit like this. And we just have just about completed it. And we just want to have something which, hang on, it's probably better from this view. There we go. It makes a little bit of sense, doesn't it? A nice little bit of an assembly area. Everyone's got a seat. There's a big lectern. There's a nice big projector there. If you wanted to have like a projector coming out from the ceiling, you might want to have that. It'd probably look a little something like, I don't know, you could have something like that, and maybe you could put like a red wool up there to kind of signify something, or I don't know. You can add things to the room that would make sense. It could probably be in line with the room, couldn't it? We could probably, if we're going to have like a projector, we could probably have it in line with the room. It might look a little something like that, or you could make something up, something to make it look a little bit more interesting. You might even want to add like a set of seats right at the back here where like teachers would sit, or whatever you want to add. Completely up to you guys. You guys know what I'm talking about. I think I've actually made it look a little bit better by doing that. And that's kind of like a nice little assembly area. Now, once you've taken care of your assembly area, if you've decided to add one, cafeteria. The cafeteria is quite simple. So this is the room with the big double doors on one end, going all the way to the other. So starting from this back left-hand corner of the area here, we're leaving a row of 2, starting from the back, and then we're going to add, we're going to leave a row of 3, and then we're going to have a row of quartz that travels from one long end of the room to the other long end, and we're leaving a gap of 2. And then behind that long row of quartz, we're going to have kind of like this pattern. It's like 1 quartz, leave 2 gaps, 1 quartz, leave 2 gaps, and that starts from the left-hand side going all the way over to the right, like this. On top of that, we're then going to add some, I say on top of that, in between those spaces we're going to add polished andesite, like this. And we're also going to need some white stained glass pane, and we will also want to grab nothing right now. So we'll just kind of now want to separate those little layers there. We want to separate each one of those little sections with white stained glass paint, like so. Like this. And what we're also going to do is add some seating to this area. So the seats are designed to go like, you can see where the entrance is. Well, it's like one block coming in from the entrance, and we want to have like a row of 3 stone brick stairs, like just one row away from the entrance in the center. We then want to have a layer of 3 block of quartz like in front of the stairs, but leaving a gap of 1. Then we want an opposite facing row of stone brick stairs, and that's kind of like an eating table. You can make those bigger, you can make those smaller, but that's kind of like what I had in mind. I mean, alternatively, if you wanted to make it a little bit more realistic-ish looking, you might want to make some like big tables. You know, kind of like how we made the desks? You might want to have something like that, and you might want to spread the... Come on. Oh, it's so much easier with a proper block. You might want to spread out the tables a little bit more. So now we have something that looks a little bit more like a table, and now we have like some stone bricks, and it just makes a little bit more sense. Maybe you even want to space out the chairs a little bit instead of having benches, but my school had some benches. You might also want to do the same thing on the opposite side. So we're on the opposite side here, chair here, and where is it? Is it chair there? No, it's not. So it's chair here and here, and then we just want to place the eating bench, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you're eating off. I don't care what you call it, like the eating table, whatever, the table. Chair here, boom, boom, boom. There we go. That makes a little bit more sense now. Also going to light this place up a little bit. I'm going to light it up just a little bit before I actually move on. So boom, boom, boom. Just so everybody can see everything. So now we have an eating area. I'm going to discard all of these, and I'm going to grab some random colours of carpets. Mainly greens, orange, reds, and yeah, that'll probably do, like green, red, and orange. And I'm just going to place, like, oh, maybe yellow as well. Missed that. And you might even want to go brown, although brown looks a little bit too poopy for me. And we're just going to kind of like have some food. Like this is, it is supposed to look like food. And you could obviously, like, this is what you'd be served. Those are different kinds of food. If you want to take it one step further, something that's just literally popped into my head, you might want to take out some item frames, and you might want to like grab some random foods, and you might want to place like behind, or maybe even in front of here, like where what we have just like labeled foods, where the carpets are. You might want to add some, maybe even color appropriate foods. So, you know, you guys are just getting a sense of this. You might want to add some of like some different foods there, and taking it even one step further, perhaps we want to have like a layer of block of iron back here just behind the eating area, and we might also want to have some places to like wash hands and stuff. So maybe we want to have some tripwire hooks, and we might also want to have some, let's use cyan carpet just because we're crazy. We might want to have some places to less frequent here, and here, and we might just want to have hooks there, and there, and we might even want to have something that resembles a bit more of a draining board, maybe like stone or something like either side here. And on top of that, we might even want to have some furnaces. Perhaps we want some furnaces, maybe where are the furnaces? Maybe like a furnace here. And we might just want like one here, and maybe one here. Destroy that. Maybe in between we won't have one there, so furnaces. And maybe on top of that, we might want to have some kind of like refrigerators or something. And we can obviously get rid of some of these torches. We don't need that many of them. And we can keep that there, and maybe we can add some buttons. So some buttons in front of the iron blocks, and those can kind of like be refrigerators. Maybe there's some stuff in there. And that is probably it, and that's kind of like a nice little eating area there. I mean, you know, it's not perfect, it could be better. If you have any improvements, feel free to add them. That's kind of like a cafeteria. And the last unique room that I'm going to show you guys, since that's the cafeteria now that I've shown you how to make that, the last unique room is kind of like the principal's office, and this is all the way up on the second floor, and it is like, it's facing you. As soon as you get up on the second floor, it's facing you. This is where the principal's office is going to be. And before we delve into this, we're going to grab some red carpet. We're going to grab some bookshelves. We're also going to want to grab some black stained clay, some spruce wood planks, some oak wood planks. I meant dark oak wood planks, spruce wood planks, not black stained clay or whatever I said, spruce clay. I don't even know what I said. I bet it was crazy though. We're also going to want to grab some dark oak stairs. We'll also probably want some oak wood stairs, some spruce wood stairs, also grab some birch wood slabs, and that's all we can carry. And in the principal's office, like as soon as you walk in on the left hand side and on the right hand side, we have a gap of 2, and then we have a row of, let's call it 5 spruce wood planks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've got to destroy this 5. And then above that, leaving a gap of 1, we want to have a bookshelf. That's on the left and also on the right. So we leave a gap of 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have a bookshelf just hovering over it like so. Then, in line with the bookshelves and kind of like staying away from the edges of the room, we want to have carpet. So just in this little center part in between the bookshelves, we want to have carpet like that. Then, in the center 3 spaces of the carpet facing towards the window, leaving a gap of 1, we want to have 3 chairs like this. Then, and we're missing, oh, we're not missing this. And then in front of the chairs, but 1 block away, we want to have the beginnings of the desk, which is upside down dark oak wood stairs with 2 layers of birchwood slabs separating one end of the desk from the others. So it'll look a little something like, gentlemen, ladies, like this. That's the desk. Now, the chair, I made kind of a fancy chair, and I can't remember how to make it exactly, so we're going to kind of just like imagine it now. We're going to have like a center spruce wood plank here, then we're going to have, or dark oak wood stair I should say, and then either side of that we're going to have like oak wood planks, and then behind that stair as well. Then we're going to have like dark oak wood planks behind the oak wood planks, and then right in the center behind the chair we're going to have like a oak wood plank, and then left and right of that we're going to have like a dark oak wood stairs like this, and then we're going to get rid of the birchwood planks, and we're going to grab, I just saw them in my inventory, we're going to grab dark oak wood slabs, so here, here, and here, and that's kind of just like a nice fancier looking chair I thought. And this is kind of the office. Some things that you might want to add in here, I mean, I'm kind of just imagining things. You might want to add some paintings, you might want to add some item frames. What might be in these paintings? I don't know. I don't know, maybe like enchanted books and stuff, maybe make it look a little bit fancier, maybe like just underneath the bookshelf we might want to have like fancy looking, we don't want paintings in there, we might just want to have some books in there just to make it look a little bit fancier. Maybe just above where he sits we could have an item frame and maybe a map in it. Maybe we can add a map in it. Just, I don't know, it seems like something somebody would do. That map is not filled up at all. Maybe an actual proper map. Maybe add that in there. That, whatever, you guys get the point. It'd probably look a little bit better on your wall, but you guys get the idea. We might even want to add some paintings around the place, so maybe like a painting here on the right, or on the left as it may be. I want a proper, whatever, a school painting, that makes sense. You might just want to have something like this, and you might also want to light the place up a little bit. Again, I'm just placing these in random places because it didn't really matter to me, because, you know, this is a random world, this isn't my actual proper creative world. You might want to have something like this, and this is the principal's office. I thought it's a pretty good idea, and that is the last unique room that I'm actually going to show you guys. So we've made the principal's office. Moving downstairs, we have also made like a regular generic classroom, which is my favorite classroom. We have also made kind of like an assembly hall. We've also made kind of like a science lab. And we have also made kind of like a cafeteria. What I'm now going to do, guys, just for the sake of the video, I'm going to go away and I'm going to come back once I have completed the second floor here. So in the second floor, I'm going to add the 4 other rooms, and I'm probably going to fill them all with the first classroom, just for the sake of it, and then at the end of the video, we can come back and we can come and look at it. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go away, I'm going to fill in the second floor with those 4 generic classrooms, and then we can talk about the outside of the school, because that is what's going to be next. Alright guys, so that is the inside of our school, 100% fully complete. You'll just have to take my word for it that I have filled in all of the other 4 rooms. We'll see it at the end of this video when I show you everything. But once you have the inside taken care of, we're now going to move to the outside. And we're going to start with the front of the school first of all. Here's what you're going to need. You need quite a few things. Grab yourself some polished andesite. Then grab some stone bricks. You'll want some stone brick slabs. Also grab yourself some cyan stained clay. You'll want some white wool. Also grab some jungle leaves. You'll also want a flower. I'm going to be using rose bushes, but it's really up to you what you want to use there. And I don't think we're going to need anything else. So once you have all of those materials, you now want to make your way to the very entrance. So this entrance right here. You then want to take out your stone brick slabs, and where we have these stone bricks left and right of the actual stairs for the entrance, we want to extend these slabs coming out in front of the school by 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. We then want to do this. We want to take the 7th blocks and we want to drag them all the way over the left-hand side here and the right-hand side in just a moment. And we want to line them up with the side of the school like this. But then we want to surpass... No, we don't. We want to line them up with the side of the school like that. So we want to do that on the left, and we also want to do that on the right. So do that on the left, do that on the right. And you just want to end up with a big giant, I suppose it's going to look like a kind of like a T shape in the end, like this. We then want to take the blocks that line up with the ends of the school and we want to connect them to the school, and they just want to connect here. Like it will connect to that stick out stone brick. And then we want to connect them to the center of the school. So like where we have the entrance. So here, except it doesn't want to like connect directly to it. It wants to connect like diagonally to these sticky out blocks. And then we want to drag it forward and connect it to the layer of stone brick slabs that we already have. So we want to have a shape which should essentially look like this. Do that on the right, do it on the left. So just in case you guys can't remember, we take this very end block that lines up with the end of the school, we drag it forward until it connects to the front of the school like that. We then drag it towards the center until it connects to the center part of the school diagonally, and then we bring it forward until it connects all the way back to where we were just building, like this. Now, once you have that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So you'll now note that we have 2 front corners of the school made out of slab. We take each one of these corner blocks of slab and we extend them, coming out forward in front of the school by a further 10 each. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we want to do the same to the other side, except we don't have to count it out, and here's why. We just want to take that 10th block, drag it all the way over to the right hand side, and then we just want to connect it together. So we want to drag it all the way over to the other side and we just want to connect it together. What we're forming right here is a road, and we are going to add all of the details to this in just a moment, and it's all going to look quite nice and pretty, but we're laying the floor plan right now. So that's the front of the school so far. Now what you want to do, take out your stone bricks, and what we basically want to do, you see the big giant rectangular space that we have in front of the school here, knock out the first 2 rows of stone bricks here towards the front, and knock out the 2 on the back, like this. That should leave a row of 5 grass in the center. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to extrapolate those 2 layers of blocks that you've just knocked out, and these want to be destroyed going from left to right, and you also want to destroy the layer in the center of the path that like takes you to the school. So you want to destroy this bit here, you want to destroy this row of 3, leading you all the way up to the path, like this. So we're just going from one side to the other, we're just destroying it, as you guys can see. So this will take a little while, obviously. It'll take a little while. There's nothing more to say upon that. So you can see that we now have that destroyed. What we will then want to do is fill all of that in with our stone bricks. Actually, you know what? I don't want to use stone bricks. Let me change my mind. I want to use polished andesite. I think that polished andesite will look a little bit nicer. I think it will give it a bit of a better finish. And I think that it's actually the material that I used in the original version. So I'm now replacing those 2 rows with polished andesite, and I'm also replacing the 3 rows that we have leading all the way up to the entrance with polished andesite. So once we've got that taken care of, we can then move on to the next bit. So we're just getting this taken care of. It'll take a little while, obviously. It's quite a big road, but we want to destroy those 2, replace them with andesite, and we also want to fill these 3 layers in with andesite as well. Like that. Perfect. And then, can you remember these other 2 rows that we have here? We also want to destroy these, and we want to replace them with andesite. But I'm not going to do that on recording. I'm going to do that off recording. So we want to replace those 2 rows with andesite. But what we also want to do, we want to take these 5 middle rows, and we want to destroy all of these. And we want to replace them with cyan stained clay. So we want to destroy these 5 middle rows, and we want to replace all of these with cyan stained clay. But we also want to do something a little bit different. Not only do we want to destroy them, replace them with cyan stained clay, but we want to take the center block in the row of 3, and starting from the left hand side center block here, we want to miss 1, destroy 3, miss 1, destroy 3. Replace those 3 empty blocks with white wool. It's going to look like this. Can you guys see how this is going to pan out? We're making a road. It's miss 1, destroy 3, replace with white. Miss 1, destroy 3, replace with white. That's going from the left all the way over to the right hand side. We're also going to be destroying, like I said, these first 2, or these outer 2 blocks here. We're going to destroy this entire row. We're going to replace that with andesite. This is going to take a little bit more time than I'm willing to give it on recording. So I'm going to be back in just a moment once I've done that for myself, and then we can progress onto that next bit. You guys should also get working on this. Okay, so this is the road out in front of the school complete. I did actually mess up with the instructions for the white wall though. So the white wall, the easiest way to explain it, you can see where we have these 3 andesite for the path for the entrance of the school. Well, line up 3 white wool in the center of the road there, and then just leave a gap between each side, and then do like 3 white wool, miss 1, 3 white wool, miss 1, and you guys will see that then the road pattern actually does even out. If you do it in my way, then it doesn't like end perfectly, and it looks a little skew with, and it's a little bit weird. So that is the road done. What else do we have to do outside? Well, take out your rose bushes, and you want to do this. So the 3 rows closest towards the path for the center of the school, you want to do this with your rose bushes. So like this corner here, we want to take a rose bush, place 1, miss 1, place 1, miss 1, place 1, miss 1, place 1, towards the school, and then we just want to leave it. We want to have 2 rows here. Then you want to do the inverse for the row left of it. So left of it, we want to place a rose bush, miss 1, place 1, miss 1, place 1, miss 1, place 1, etc. Then we want to do that one more time, going left still. So place 1, miss 1, place 1, miss 1, place 1, miss 1, place 1, and it wants to look a little bit like this. It's easier to see from the top what sort of pattern you have to do, except it's not so easy because rose bushes obviously have some sort of weird model, but you guys get the idea. You want to do that on the left, you want to do it on the right. So it'll be rosebush here, stop, miss, until you have 2 gaps left. You don't want to place one closest to the school like that. Do the inverse right of that, and then do the original right of that. So you want to have something which should end up looking a little bit, I've just messed it up there a little. You want to have something which should look a little bit like this. Once you've done that, you then on the outer sides of those rose bushes want to do a layer of jungle leaves. So on the outer side of those rose bushes, do a layer of jungle leaves, kind of connecting that front path towards the school like this. So it will look a little bit like that. What we now want to do is with the jungle leaves, we want to go all the way around the inside of the outside of the school, if that makes any sense. So anywhere that you see a gap going around the outside of the school, so like in between all of these stone pillars, around the inside of these stone slabs, you want to go all the way around the outside inside of the school. Again, it's kind of like a poor way to explain it, but you can see on the screen what's happening. We just want to basically add a hedge going all the way around the school, but we don't want to go around the parts that stick out, like where we have these like stone brick pillars and stuff. We don't want to tamper with those, but we do want to go in between them, and where necessary, we want to go around the outside the school. So you can see like on the outside here, we want to go around it, but where we have like exits and stuff, we want to leave that alone, and we just want to do that going all the way around the school, and we want to knock that block off there, and then we just want to fill in between this, and we should connect to the opposite side of the entrance, and it just adds a little bit of extra colour, and it adds a little bit extra separation, and we now have something which looks a little bit like that, which is a bit more colourful, and in doing that, you've actually 100% fully completed the front of the school. It's as easy as that. It's not so difficult whatsoever. So that is what you want for the very front of the school, guys. Once you've got that taken care of, we can now move on to the back of the school, and let me tell you guys, the back of the school is way more interesting than the front of the school. So let's move all the way over to the back. We're coming to the very back center part of the school, and we're taking out the stone brick slabs again, and left and right of the entrance where we have these stone bricks that connect to the ground, we want to take each one of these and we want to extend them coming towards like the back here. We want to extend them coming back each by, that will be, I'm just getting this right, guys, just getting this right. You want to extend it back by 2. That's 1, 2, and 1, 2, like that. So coming out by 2. You then want to take each one of the second blocks and you want to extend them until they are equal in line with the sides of the school. So we want to have one there lining up with the hedge, and we want to, actually, I don't think we'll line them up with the hedge. I don't think that we'll do that. I think that we'll line them up with, now we will line them up with the hedge. What am I talking about? We'll line them up with the hedge like that. So you kind of want to have kind of like a really, really weird looking T-shape like this. Now, once you've done that, you then want to do this. You want to take those second blocks again and like now digging into the floor. So still with these second blocks, still coming out, we want to do a row of 3 digging into the floor. That's 1, 2, 3. Replace those 3 blocks with andesite. So you can see 1, 2, 3 coming out, replace with andesite like that. Then with the stone bricks again on top of the grass, we want to do a row of 18 stone brick slabs coming down. So that'll be 18. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And on the opposite side as well. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We then want to take those like first blocks in the row of 18, we want to extend those coming towards the side of the school again. So what we're essentially forming is a nice big giant T-shaped path. So we're just doing that. That's all we're doing. We're doing the outline of the path, and once the path's in, and we will fill it in later, just a little later, we're going to want to have something which should look a little bit like this. So we now have a T-shaped path. What do we have next to do? So we have 2 things to add. We have a little bit of a play area to add, and we have a basketball court to add. So which one shall we start with? Shall we start with the play area first? Let's do that. So what we want to do is this. You can see here where we have this block, this row of the first block in our row of 18. Well, on the left hand side here, counting in diagonally, and you can use a block to count this out accurately, you want to leave a diagonal row of 3 coming towards the outer part of the school. That's 1, 2, 3, like that. And then on that 4th block, place a stone brick slab. You then want to take this stone brick slab and extend it down by 14. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You then want to take that 14th block and go left of it by 24. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. You then want to take that 24th block and you kind of just want to extend it towards the front of the school again, and you just want to line it up with the opposite side and then connect it back upon itself. So we're just making the little area in which the little play area is going to be. So you can see we've now formed like a rectangular shape like this. It should be formed like that. And don't worry that this path right here is a little shorter than the little play area that you've made. You can just extend it by 2 blocks so that it supersedes the play area by 1 row, as it does on the side. You might want to do that right there as well. Now what do we have to do? So the play area has a couple of things and we need a few materials for this. So we're going to need some red wool. We'll also need some dark green wool. We also want some nether brick fence, and we want a stone brick stair. Once we have each one of those, this is what we want to do next. So we want to, with our dark green wool, starting from the left-hand side of this rectangle, we're in the bottom left-hand corner of the rectangle, looking down upon it like this. So we want to find the third diagonal coming in from this corner. So this is the first, second, third. On top of this diagonal, we want to do a row of 4 dark green coming in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We then, coming towards that way, towards back to the school, we want to do an upright diagonal and then go right by 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We then want to do a bottom right diagonal and we want to connect it down to the ground like this. Then, take out your nether brick fence and you want to find the 3 middle blocks in your swing. So, this is a middle block. Left and right of that, we want to extend these down until they almost touch the ground. They want to be 1 row off the ground. And we want to do this using the nether brick fence. So it should be 2 rows of 3 nether brick fence coming down to the ground. Then place a stone brick stairs in the middle of them. We've made a swing. There we go. Once you've done that, we then want to come to the opposite side here, and we want to find the middle block in this opposite side. It should roughly be this one. And we want to be 2 blocks away from the side. So on top of this third block here, we want to go up by 3 of the red wool. That's 1, 2, 3. And then coming across towards the out part of the school, we want to do an up left diagonal, and then do another up left diagonal because we meant to do 2. So 2 up left diagonals from that third block. We then want to go left 2, then do 2 bottom left diagonals. We then want to go down until we touch the ground. Then we want to take this top center middle block, we want to extend it coming towards us by 1, then do 2, like for instance a bottom right diagonal, so coming outwards. Then take that second bottom right diagonal, connect it down to the ground. Do the same on the other side. So here coming towards the school, we want to place 1 block coming this way, then do 2 bottom outwards diagonals, or however you want to say it, come this way. So we've kind of like formed a cone shape. We then want to, you see where we have all these 4 rows of 3? We want to connect all of these together diagonally. So we want to connect the middle blocks in these rows of 3, and we want to connect them together diagonally, like going all the way around like this. So we just kind of want to form this shape. I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like a spider's web. It's a cage, really, is what we're making. And that's kind of just like the thing that you'd like climb on and play on as a kid. Like you climb up it and stuff. You'd probably see them on like most playgrounds, and that's what we've made. We've made a swing, we've made a climbing frame essentially. Now, so once you have that little play area taken care of, guys, this is what we're going to do next. We're going to do the basketball court. So get rid of all of your materials. I've already done it, and you're going to want to grab this. Grab yourself some polished andesite. You'll also want to grab yourself some cyan stained clay. Flip over, grab yourself some, we'll actually need some web, grab some web, grab white wool, red wool. You might also want to grab some white carpet, and we'll need some orange wool. What else may we need, guys? We'll also need some black wool, and I think that we're probably about good at that. So once you have each one of those materials right there, this is what you want to do next. So we now want to come over to the opposite side, and we now want to copy the dimensions of the park onto this side. So starting from like this corner block right here, like we did on the opposite side, we want to take this corner block, and we want to find the 4th bottom right diagonal coming in. So that's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th bottom right diagonal coming in, place a white wool. Then coming out towards the end of, towards outwards from the school, we want to do a row of 14 white carpet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then we want to go right of that 14th block by 24 with the white carpet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We then want to drag that until it is even with the very first carpet that we placed, which is right there, and then we want to connect it together. I'm not sure that I mentioned that we were making this out of white carpet to start with, but I'm sure that it's easy enough to see that that's what I was using, plus the fact, I mean, it's just the exact same thing that we just made on the left-hand side there. Now, Once you have your rectangle of white carpet, we now have to add a couple of markings. So take out the white wall, and we now want to split the rectangular shape that we've just made like up the middle. So we want to do it like on the long way, and we just want to split up the middle, and we want to place a row of white wool. I'm just eyeballing it, and I'm pretty sure that I've nailed it. I would expect you guys to do the same. Split up the middle, eyeball it, you'll be able to figure it out like that. Then, with your white wool again, coming to the left-hand side here, so we're on the bottom left hand corner looking down on it, we want to find the third grass block coming up, so that's the first, second, third. Knock out 3 blocks going right, 1, 2, 3, then do 3 up right diagonals, 1, 2, 3, then go up by 2, do 3 up left diagonals, 1, 2, 3, come back by 2. Replace all of those blocks with white wool. Once you've done that on the left, do the same on the right. So we're now on the bottom right hand corner. We want to find the third block coming up from this grass. That's 1, 2, 3. Knock out the 3 blocks going left, 1, 2, 3. 3 up left diagonals, 1, 2, 3. Up by 2, 1, 2. 3 up right diagonals, 1, 2, 3. Right by 2. Replace all of those blocks with white wool. Like this. We then want to take out an orange wool and place an orange wool in the very dead center of that vertical row of white wool that we have there. Then we want to, left and right of that orange wool, we want to knock out the 2 blocks in the floor left and right of it, replace them with cyan stained clay, and then go around those cyan stained clay blocks with your white wool, except you don't want them to connect on the corners. You want to have something which should look exactly like that. There you go. Then, we want to take out our polished andesite, and on the very left of the court and on the very right of the court, coming up from the very center middle blocks on the left and right hand side, we want to do 2 rows, or 1 row of 8 polished andesite coming up from the ground. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we will want to knock out the white wool block for that, or the white carpet block for that. We have our row of 8, and then we want to take the 8th block, extend it coming towards the court by 1. We then want to place a white wool in front of it, a white wool on the left and right of that white wool. We then want to place a row of white on top of it. We then want to go around that rectangular layer of white that we've made with our black wool, go around it with the black wool like this. We then want to take out our red wool, and we want to, starting from the bottom left hand corner, bottom right hand corner of the white wool rectangle, place a red wool coming towards you, each that way, then do a red wool kind of like diagonally in between them in front of those 2 red walls. Then take out the web, do a web underneath the empty space that we have, like around the reds, then place one left, right, in front of and below that very first initial row. And there we have the net for the basketball hoop. Once you've got that taken care of on the left hand side, we're going to do the same on the right. If you guys can remember, well, first of all, I have to knock out this middle block. From this center block on the right hand side, we want to do a row of 8 polished andesite. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then take that 8th block, come towards it by 1. Then do a white wool, go left and right of the white by 1, do a layer of 3 on top, take out the black wool, do a layer of black wool going all the way around the outside. This will be the bit you try and hit with the basketball, and it like falls into net. You hit the corner, falls into net. We then want to take out the red wool, do a red wool in front of the 2 bottom white corners, then do a red wool kind of like in front of, in between the 2 red walls, then do a web underneath, left, right, in front of, underneath again, and there we have the hoop. There we go. Basketball, net, hoop, thing. Perfect. Once you have that taken care of, this is what you want to. Why is that hoop bigger? Okay, so it seems as though that I've accidentally made the hoop on the left a little bit taller than the hoop on the right. I personally prefer the lower hoop, so I'm going to change the original version back, but the measurement of 8 is right, and that's the one that I gave you guys, so hopefully you haven't made the same mistake as I have. The measurement's right, so I'm not going to revert the video and change it. But what I am going to do, other than change that hoop, is once that has been taken care of, what I'm now going to do, guys, is I'm going to knock out every single other block inside of the white rectangle of the basketball court. I'm going to replace it with cyan stained clay, like that, and I form kind of a duck shape. I'm going to knock out all of the blocks inside of the path that we have here. So the path that we formed, I'm going to knock out all of the inside of the path. I'm going to replace that with andesite. And I'm going to knock out all the way around the inside of the little play area that we've made. And I'm going to replace it with sand. So what we're now going to do, and I'm not doing it on recording, I'm going to fix that hoop. Damn it. I'm going to replace the ground inside of the court with science stained clay. Inside the path with andesite, and inside of the play area, the park, whatever you want to call it, with sand. Once I've done all of that, that's actually the outside, the exterior of the school complete. I'm going to be back in just a moment once all of that is done, and then we can take a look at the whole thing together. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have now filled in each one of those 3 areas. Basketball court, science stained clay. Path, polished andesite. Little play area, parky thing, we filled in with sand. I've also fixed that hoop. You can see that they are now equal height to each other, and that concludes the outside of the school. We've got the front, we've got the back. I haven't done anything for the sides. I didn't really feel the need to, and that is the outside of the school complete, which means it's probably about time that we should probably, I've said probably a few times now, we should probably have a hot look at this thing all in total. So why don't we take off flight, why don't we walk across the road here, and we can take a look at the school. So this is the first thing that you'd probably see if you were at school. There should be a school bus here. I'm actually going to design and make one. You'd get off the school bus, you walk into the school. There should probably be doors on this thing. Why don't we add some doors whilst we're here? So we can add some doors. I'm going to use some dark oak wood here. And why do the doors not fit there? Why what is wrong here? Oh, we need some glass in there, don't we? There we go. We just need some glass above those doors. Perfect. Nailed it. So we're just walking through. We have lockers on the left. We have lockers on the right. If we choose, we can go straight out the back door, or we can go up onto the second floor. Left here, we have a regular classroom. Blackboard, desks, storage area, get some stuff. We have some cupboards. We have a little bit of a library, some books. We might also want to add a door onto the classroom. Right at the very end there, we have a fire exit. This is supposed to be a fire exit, so I would probably put a mechanical door on here. Put a mechanical door on there, iron door, whatever you want to call it. This is a hallway. Here we have, of course, the kind of little assembly area. So, you know, you'd sit down, you listen to the head teacher, you listen to the teachers, whatever, PowerPoint presentation, whatever you might have coming from the projector here, all the way up to the front. Guys stood up on the lectern. Today we're going to be learning. End of discussion. And then, you know, you go back to your classroom, you do whatever you have to do, you walk out, we'll throw another door on that. TV is trying to turn itself off, really trying to sabotage this thing for me. We've stopped that. If we come across the hallway here we have like a science lab, looking pretty nice. We've got the blackboard again. We've kind of got like experiment areas. We've got like Bunsen burners, potions, and kind of like sinks and stuff. Here we have like the teacher's desk. On the outer walls, we have more sinks. We have more storage areas. Here we have some like potions on the wall just to make it a bit more relevant. I'm going to throw another door here. On the opposite side here, we have another fire exit. We can throw an iron door on there. And coming into here, we have the cafeteria. Not going to have any doors on here, so you get your food. We've got like fridges, we've got furnaces, we've got seating areas, we've got all different kinds of food, we've got sinks, we've got all sorts. Cafeteria. That's the ground floor done. So moving up from the ground floor, coming up onto the second floor, which we can walk up. Oh, there we go. Move on to the second floor. Got a staircase onto the third floor, which we will check out, but immediate to us, this is like the principal's office. We've got some paintings, we've got a desk, we have his chair, we have a map just above him, the worst map ever. We have some books on the left, books on the right, storage space, a nice little bit of carpet, principal's office. Every single other one of these rooms are just a repeat of the very first classroom, just in different orders because the doors are in different places. My favourite classroom that I've made out of all of them, so that's why I decided to go with this one. You can see that's 2 that we've done, and then we come across the hall again. It's just the same thing over and over again, repeated it. All of these should probably have doors, and I'm not sure, do we have, no, we don't have one on the principal's office. All of these places, they should have doors. Moving up onto the third floor, it's just a hallway basically. We just have a hallway, we've lit the place up, that's all. But this allows us access to the roof. Obviously there's nothing on the roof because nobody conducts lessons from the roof unless you're a madman. So there's nothing up here on the roof. So we saw the front already, we've walked through, we've walked out onto the roof, and should you want to go back into the school, so let's say that we're bored of the roof, which also should probably have some sort of like safety doors on them. We're bored of the roof, we walk back in, we walk down the stairs here, we walk down the other set of stairs, and we come out of the back, which should also have doors. We walk out of the back here, left of us we have a basketball court, right of us we have a nice little bit of playset, we've got paths, so maybe in the future, and I am thinking about this, I'm thinking about doing this if you guys request it, we might have a gym. So this path, it might lead eventually to a big giant gym, and we might have like showers in there, we might have a changing room, we might have like a big giant like multi-purpose court, we might have all sorts back here. If you guys want it, I'm thinking about doing a school bus and a gym, maybe even some more things. I don't know what else I'd do there, maybe like a track and field or something, but that's the entire school, guys. That's it. So I'm going to take off the UI, going to talk about this, and that's it. I guess there's nothing more to do beyond that, so let's take off the UI and stuff. This is the school. We've just done the interior, we've done the exterior, you guys asked for it, I'm doing it. I thought that it was very, very important for the actual school that I did the interior and I did the exterior and I showed you guys how to do it the best that I could. Hopefully you guys appreciate it. Hopefully you like this video. If you do both of those things, I'd really appreciate if you could give this video a like, a favourite, and a share. Please, if you wouldn't mind, because I did, oh God, so much work on this, guys, so much work. So if you wouldn't mind, like, favorite, share, all of the things. Thank you very much. Comment down below. Let me know what you want to see me make next. I have quite a few more ideas. I'm going to be doing a cinema. I'm going to be doing a couple more supermarkets, I think. I'm thinking about doing an actual park, like a standalone park. I'm thinking about doing a school bus. I'm going to be doing the Ender Dragon. I'm going to slip that in there. I'm going to be doing like a school gym. Maybe a regular gym. I'm going to be doing loads more things. Don't worry. But comment down below. Let me know what you want to see me make next. Always, always, always interested in your guys' opinions. Check out the card system. If you haven't made the school yet, check out the card system because that's going to link you to the original version of the school so you can make the building, then you can do the inside, then the outside. And that's pretty much all there is to say, guys. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Like, favorite, share if you wouldn't mind. I'd really appreciate it. Check out the card system. Comment down below. All of those things. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I want to end on the front of the school. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.